Hey, guess what we're reading today? The Eye of the World is the first book of the Wheel of Time, a series that is, oh boy, 14 books long. First thing I want to know is, what kind of fantasy character survives that long? 14 books? Surely the cast gets renewed every trilogy or so. I've been meaning to read this series for a while. Just like Dune, The Kingkiller Chronicle, and The Cosmere, it is an incredibly popular series and the hype around it is still tremendous to this day. Quite impressive considering The Eye of the World came out 30 years ago. Naturally I got curious, and what finally ended my procrastination is the Wheel of Time Amazon show. 3 episodes are already out as of the writing of this script, and the entire first season will probably be out by the time this video is up. I'm the kind to wait for all episodes to be available in order to properly binge watch the whole thing. I just really hate waiting a week between every episode. Impatience is my middle name. So even though I'll be using pictures from the show in this video, know it's only for character illustration and that I have no idea what's going on in it. Nor do I intend to spoil you. Rest assured. Alright, are you ready? I do be ready. Let's make a turn of the wheel. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills. Yay! The wheel has captured you and now you have no choice but to stay until the very end of this video. The wheel said so. Not me. Psst. Okay, but really, I have a couple announcements at the end, so please stay. Part 1. Yay! I do be liking this. Give me your trust, said the Aes Sedai. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop right there, lady. First of all, I ain't giving no trust to nobody, especially not to shady Aes Sedai. That's what the villagers said, and I mean, you've got to understand them. A woman that shows confidence and power, has an important mission to accomplish, is pretty damn good at what she does and doesn't come cowering at the feet of the likes of them. Oh no! Call the village police, she must be a witch! Now that I think about it, Aes Sedai do remind me of Dune's Bene Gesserit. Is that why they're so much hated? I swear every person in here is allergic to Aes Sedai. And you see, at this point, I don't really understand why. I just know they are disliked and feared and chased after by some folks. Oh no, does that mean my cult is in danger? If you want to join my cult, by the way, all you have to do is click the subscribe button. The Aes Sedai we're talking about here is Moiraine. Had an instant liking to her, and not only because of her pretty name. I loved the mystery surrounding her. She's this superhero appearing from nowhere in the Two Rivers, a small village that got attacked by unsavory beings because of a certain boy and his friends. Rand, Matt, and Perrin seem to be targeted by the creatures for some reason. By the way, these characters are so similar, in the beginning at least. They're like the 3 sides of the same coin, especially Rand and Matt, I keep confusing them. Anyway, the boys decide to leave with Moiraine to spare the village. Superhero she is, I tell ya. And as they try to get away, this girl decides to go with them. Egwene, my second favorite character after Moiraine. Right from the beginning, I felt she had great potential as a character and I wanted to know how she would evolve through the story. And fast enough, Egwene is a soon-to-be Aes Sedai. Yes! I don't know why I'm so supportive of this, maybe it's a bad idea. I've got to question the Aes Sedai's motivations, because Moiraine is looking for a dragon reborn? No idea what that means. But I suspect Rand to be just that. His father basically admits to him that he's not his father, which makes Rand not even from the Two Rivers. Coincidence? I think not. Who says Rand doesn't have reptile DNA, huh? I almost forgot about Nynaeve, also known as Wisdom, although I wouldn't call her that. To me she's Nynaeve the Grumpy. In case it's not clear enough, she's grumpy all the time. She barges in the middle of our party to yell at them, "Go back home right now, kids." Thanks, Mom, but no thanks. She freaking hates Moiraine already, so she stays with them to keep an eye on the children. You could have just asked to join the party. Remember how the boys were targeted in the beginning? It does not get better. It never does. Turns out the one that's after them is the Dark One. The big bad guy, if you couldn't tell. And this guy, is he even human? I don't think so, but this guy doesn't only send his pet creatures to capture our boys, he also gets inside their heads. That is somehow worse than the monsters running around. Rand and the others start getting nightmares of the Dark One talking to them, taunting them, and they panic. Boy, you haven't seen my nightmares. So up until this point, I genuinely like the book. Great intro, good setup, promising characters, sign me up. But my interest wavers soon. Too soon. Part 2. Oh noes, I do be snoozing. The very first thing I was told about the Wheel of Time series is how slow it can be. And as I already stated many times on this channel, I have little to no tolerance for running in circles narratives. Some people even admitted to me that some entire books in the series could be skipped with almost zero consequence on the rest, which is an interesting way to make me want to read this, but these same people also told me that although some parts are slow, it always ends up getting better. To which I said, I shouldn't be waiting for a story to become better. To which they said, oh come on Kaya, be patient. To which I said, ugh! Still, here I am and okay. These chapters aren't just a long list of uneventful events. Stuff does happen from time to time. Like that one moment when our squad was chased by various creepy creatures, forcing them to hide in an abandoned, spooky ghost town. As you might have expected, it ends badly for our friends. No, they're not dead. Yet. But they get separated and I knew I wouldn't like it because I like them all hanging out together, but also the slow TM is here. Nynaeve and Moraine go on their way. Moraine keeps being mysterious. Like that, but come on, tell me everything, ma'am. And Nynaeve keeps being angry at her. It's basically all I gathered about this woman. Egwene and Perrin take a route that supposedly goes straight to their destination, but as if they had used Google Maps for direction, they get lost. Like super lost. They end up being captured and imprisoned. Oh, and Perrin is in denial, but he can speak with wolves now. He has yellow eyes and stuff. That's hot. Matt and Rand jump from inn to inn. Oh no, I'm getting flashbacks of Quoth Almighty. Matt is defeated and thinks everybody else is dead, so he confines himself to his bed. I identify as a Matt. And Rand takes a walk only to end up in the Queen's Gardens. But before any of these things had time to happen, I zoned out so hard I nearly missed an interesting bit in all the talking. White Bridge. I always thought bridges were shady. Lots of horror stories involving bridges, but White Bridge is on a whole other level. Enter the Fates, aka the Myrddraal, aka the monstrosities that are almost unkillable. Even after you take off their head, their body flails around trying to kill things for a hot minute before it collapses. Look at this thing! Nope, no thanks. If it could fade away from my sight right now, I would appreciate it. And yes, they did appear earlier in the story as well, but my attention was too over the place to spare them some. Another thing that I thought was intriguing was the Dark Friends. Basically cultists that follow the Dark One and do loads of mischief to spread the dark gospel. Huh, interesting. Do they have a church? Speaking of cults, let's not forget the White Cloaks, the most unhinged group around. Their favorite pastime is hunting down Dark Friends, and believe me, if they have the slightest suspicion that you are one, you're dead. No question asked, no chill, you die. And of course they want to exterminate the Aes Sedai as well, because according to their logic, Aes Sedai do magics, Aes Sedai are dark friends, Aes Sedai need to perish. Ugh. Witchcraft, magic, bad! Now these guys definitely do have a church. The reason I'm so interested in Dark Friends is because I'm wondering if our boys are part of them without knowing. Because such people exist, they are tricked! Mr. Perrin and his yellow eyes seem very suspicious to me. Wow, I'm a White Cloak now. Aside from these things, I'm not very invested. Maybe it's the amount of talking or the baby step progression, I don't know. I hope I won't get a storm in the comments come at me like, you just don't get it. Because I'm sorry, but there's a bazillion characters that I don't care about. Don't ask me their names, I don't give a shit. Can somebody turn the Wheel of Time and make it go faster? What, that's not how it works? Ha! Joke's on you. Look at this button right here. I can speed it up. Part 3. Wow, the wheel do be weaving. Can I be honest here? Yes, I have 4 hours left on the audiobook and I'm bored. Not name of the wind level of deadly bored, but I want this to be over. The slow TM is the reason I can't get nice things. I want to know about Moraine and the Aes Sedai. I want to know about Egwene becoming an Aes Sedai. How does that work? What's the process? Tell me about Nynaeve so she's not just the angry woman in my mind. Tell me about Perrin and his wolf abilities, how Matt is affected by his dagger sickness, and is Rand really the dragon reborn? I am so interested in these characters and, well, I can't really be mad at the book being focused on the world and the lore, but a balance between the two would have been nice because I feel like I still don't know these characters. And yes, this is book 1, I remind this to myself all the time to not be overly frustrated, but if we could take that pace and crank up its speed some more, it would be great. So our friends are finally reunited, and after way too many words, they finally get to the Eye of the World, which is the place that holds the One Power, sealed away so that the Dark One can taint it. Something worth mentioning is that there was a green man. Yeah. Aside from him, 2 Forsaken folks, I don't know what that means, as well as a whole army of Trollocs appear and a fight ensues. One Forsaken is taken down by the Green Man and the others by Rand. Yes, at last, our main protagonist gets to shine. He doesn't know what he's doing. He blindly waves his sword, hoping for the best until he channels part of the One Power. Oh gee, I haven't seen that coming. Rand is horrified and I do be laughing. Moraine watches this scene and starts rubbing her hands like, the dragon is reborn. Cool, Moraine. How ominous, Moraine. Thanks a lot, Moraine. And then the book ends.
What the fuck?
I genuinely don't know how I feel. I went from curiosity to boredom to utter confusion. And the book ends so abruptly that all I can do is just stare into the void. All my whats and whys and hows are still unanswered. At least I was right about Rand. I feel like I kept repeating myself and I'll do it once more. My biggest issue is the book setting up amazing things and addressing other stuff instead. Waste of time for me. It made the whole thing drag and I desperately held on to the interesting parts sprinkled here and there. I see The Eye of the World as a prologue of sorts, one that's over 800 pages long instead of one chapter. That being said, I have a huge respect for the Wheel of Time and what the author managed to build through it. I'm also super excited at the fact that Brandon Sanderson finished the series. As of now, I like it. I don't hate it, I don't love it, I just like it. Whether I end up being obsessed with it is something we'll get to discover in the future, because I'm reading the sequels! Woo! Actually, let's turn it into a game. How long can I survive the slow? How many books before I get sick of it? This video is done, but a couple things before you leave. A few videos ago, I asked you if you would be okay with me opening a coffee page. Only one person answered me, so I postponed this as I was very unsure, but now it is done. I have a coffee page, it's out there, it exists. This is a platform for creators to share their work and for supporters to, well, support them. So if you want to cheer on my caffeine addiction, you can buy me a coffee. A small tip to help me out and keep this channel alive. I do commissions as well, and they are currently open. My art style is very anime-ish. I suggest you check out my Instagram to see what I can do and whether it fits with what you want. As for the prices, I honestly think they are the lowest possible. Here's an example of the cheapest and the most expensive pieces I've made so far. I love working on commissions because I see them as a challenge and a good way for me to improve my skills, and also because in exchange of your financial support, you get a pretty picture. Last but not least, I'm taking a little break from YouTube after this video for a couple of reasons. I already had 2 burnouts in the span of 2 months and I'm essentially tired of being tired. And I have plans for the holidays, so I'm going to rest, eat yummy food with family, and catch up on Oathbringer to make my grand comeback sometime in 2022 with that long-awaited review. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have the greatest holidays and wish you all the very best. Goodbye! And don't forget to trust your Aes Sedai.